What's happening, everybody? Steve here, Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com. Coming back to you with another video. In this video, we're going to talk about a topic a lot of people have been asking me about, which is how to choose / how to hire a CPA, which is a certified public accountant. Now, you can hire an accountant as well, but a certified public accountant is like kind of a step up. So I trust them a little bit more. Don't get mad at me if you're an accountant. My dad was a CPA, so I'm a little biased. Why? Why do you want to hire a CPA, and what are some of the benefits? Number one, they can help you to save money. You don't want to overpay the IRS. That's something you don't want to do. Save your money. Legality. You want to make sure that you're paying the right amount of taxes, that you're following the law. You do not want to end up locked up in jail like I was when I was 21, but not for tax evasion. That was for doing something else. We'll talk about that in a video, but I want to make sure you're on the right side of the law. Sleep at night. Who here likes sleeping at night? I like sleeping at night. I don't want to freaking be sitting on my bed at night laying down worrying about, oh God, is the IRS coming after me? I didn't do this 1099. Like, oh my God, like what's going to happen at the end of the year? Freaking out. I want to save money. I want to save time, and I want to be able to sleep at night. So that's some of the benefits of hiring a CPA, okay? So how do you choose a CPA? How did I hire my CPA? So the way that I ended up hiring my CPA was through referrals and networking. So I'm lucky and blessed enough to have a YouTube channel, Facebook following, and Instagram. But even if you don't have a personal brand, go into Facebook groups, post on IG, right? Go into the YouTube comments, search for videos based around CPAs and accounting, and figure out who people are using in your industry. Now, I'm gonna tell you at the end of this video, I'm gonna share with you 2 CPAs. One CPA that a lot of my reselling friends use, and I'm also gonna share my CPA as well. So if you've been looking, if you've been struggling, and you just can't find a CPA who knows what they're doing, who's in your industry, which we're gonna talk about, I got your back. So referrals and networking is the first thing that you're gonna wanna focus on. Why do I prefer doing this over just a local Google search, or if you're old school doing the yellow page search, if that still exists, is because when you get a referral and you network in your circle, in your industry, you're already getting instant credibility from that person. You already have living, breathing evidence that these people know what they're doing, they've done somebody well, you know that they're not just like a hacker coming on the market. So that's the biggest thing you want to do. And again, at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you guys 2 people. I would kind of try to stay away from looking on Google, local, whatever, Facebook Marketplace, people running ads and stuff. I would kind of try to stay away from that. And I would use your circle. That's why I'm like such a firm believer in networking. And that's why I love YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, because if I ever have a question, if I'm at a sticking point, if I need to hire somebody, it's the same thing with my real estate business now. I'm building a circle. I'm building a circle of people that I know, trust, and like, because then I could help them, and then I could reach out and get help from them as well. So once you find people, maybe you find 2 or 3 or 4 people that you're interested in. One thing I want to talk about first is out-of-state CPAs or locally. Should you? Well, I thought that you only had to work, like I thought that the right way to do it was to only work with people locally. And I learned that that's not true. You can also do it out-of-state. So my father used to be my CPA, so I was accustomed and used to working locally. It is nice to have a local CPA because you could go in, you could sit down, you could shoot the shit, you can chat over all the things, you could see the hard copies of what's going on and bring stuff in to them. But I think it's a waste of time. I don't think it's necessary. Anything and everything that you want to do for the most part, you can do in or out of state. You can do Skype calls, you can do Zoom calls, Google Hangouts, although I think Google Hangouts got taken down now because I tried to do a live video the other day and it wouldn't let me. But anything you want to do in-state, you can do out-of-state as well, right? Through all the digital communication means that we have now. Once you get 1, 2, 3, I would say at least 2 or 3 CPAs that came from referrals, through your networking, through your circle, or maybe you decided to, you know what, I want to find one locally because I feel more comfortable. That's what I'm used to doing. Find one local, find a couple out of state. The next thing you want to do is you want to set up free consultations. So same goes with lawyers, the same goes with CPAs, with a lot of professionals. And even if you're getting repairs done, on your real estate property, whatever, most professionals will give you free consultations. So my recommendation to you is to take out a piece of paper. You want to write down a bunch of questions, and you want to be prepared for this free consultation right here. You want to be prepared with questions. Write down all the questions that you have in terms of what you're looking for in a CPA, what worries you. Maybe you have horror stories. Maybe your business model is specific in a certain way. Write down all the questions that you have. I'm not going to cover that in this video. I'll cover a couple things, but have that prepared and ask them, right? When I was doing this process and going through this process, I interviewed, I think 3 or 4, a couple local, a couple out of state, a couple came from referrals, a couple came from Google, a couple came from local. But what I did is I asked them a bunch of questions, and I wasn't only looking for who was the most experienced, which is very important, who had the most knowledge, which was very important, but I also wanted to get a feel for who I vibed with, who I liked, who was a great communicator. For me, not only in business life, but even personal dating, like one of the biggest things I look for in any relationship is your ability to communicate. Are you honest? Are you gonna bullshit me, right? I'll ask questions that give them a way to BS me if they wanted to. Again, I'm not gonna go into that now, maybe another video, but I'm not only asking to figure out, do they know their stuff, which is important, but do I like them? Do I respect them? Does it seem like they're honest and ethical? These are big things to keep in mind. But back to experience, if you're running an inventory-based reselling business, you wanna make sure that your CPA has experience with an inventory-based business. If they're not accustomed to working with digital businesses, e-commerce businesses, eBay businesses, Amazon businesses, Poshmark, Etsy, whatever, you might wanna cross them off the list. Maybe they're only used to working with brick and mortars. No offense to my dad. I love you, Papa Bear, but I used to drive him absolutely freaking insane because he didn't have much experience when it came to my business, which was a lot of digital sales, affiliate marketing, internet marketing, and inventory-based business. So a lot of times you will drive your CPA absolutely freaking mad through the wall if you hire someone who doesn't have the experience. So again, at the end of the video, I'm gonna recommend 2 CPAs. I'll give you guys my CPA, he's in Atlanta. And then there's another guy named Chris. I haven't used him, but I have quite a few friends who use him, who love him. I've seen him speak at conferences. So I'll give you his information. Actually, down in the description right now, if you want to check it out, I'll put their information. I'm not affiliate. I don't get a cut. I don't make any money. I don't even think legally I could. So I have nothing to gain. I'm just trying to help you guys out. Next thing to consider, what software is your CPA using, right? If you're having them do your books, some CPAs will offer additional services such as bookkeeping. Some of them will give you like monthly reports or yearly reports or quarterly reports. There's a whole bunch of different services. Do your research, but if you're transitioning from one CPA to another and you're using QuickBooks, it would probably be beneficial if they're gonna do your books as well, that they're on the same software, right? So I don't wanna get too much into the nitty gritty, but that's something to consider. Cost. What's the cost to do business with the CPA, right? There's different things you're gonna have to pay for during the year. Obviously, having your tax return done, that's gonna be a cost. If you have, if you're doing quarterlies, so I don't know if you guys are running an LLC or an S Corp, or if you have multiple entities, but there's just different costs that go along with like filing more tax returns. If you have quarterly meetings, there's just a lot of different services that they offer. I'm not an expert at this, but just ask those questions. And this is a big one right here. This may or may not be important to you. Ask your CPA, are you gonna be doing my tax return? Or is it gonna be your quote unquote staff? Which is fine. If you hire a lot of the bigger firms, they're going to more or less be up here, kind of overarching over all the work. And then before it gets filed, they're gonna give their seal of approval on it, which is fine. Should you go with big firms or small firms? My father was a small firm and I felt like I got a lot more one-on-one attention with him, even though I was his son. But I feel like even like talking to him about his clients, he gives his clients a lot more one-on-one attention. And if you are local, you're gonna get even more. I've noticed with the bigger, I'm working with a bigger company now, so I'll give his name and information in the below, but his staff is gonna be working on it. I'm not sure about the guy, Chris. I'd have to figure that out, but that's just gonna depend upon your personality and whatnot. So that's the video, guys. Focus on referrals and networking. I would try to stay away from local or Google searches, but again, feel free to bring one of them in the mix to have a free consultation with. Out of state is okay. Make sure they have experience in your industry. If you're transitioning from one bookkeeper to another, make sure it's the same software. It could be a pain in the butt. Figure out what the costs are ahead of time so there's no surprises. Ask if there's any additional services they offer, such as bookkeeping or quarterly tax returns, helping you with different things, legal stuff and whatnot. Are they doing it or is their staff doing it? And if you guys want some recommendations, again, I'm not affiliated. I'll put some links down below. So if you guys like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any tips or tricks or things that have helped you over the months or years in your business related to hiring CPAs or working with CPAs, drop a comment down below. But that being said, keep on picking and making that money, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.